6 is going to be a rondel. We're going to start with a cylinder or a ball type shape. We're going to open it up. We're going to spin it out flat and make a plate, round, a rondel flat. That was a nice clean break.
That was.
That's a nice shape to start with on a rondel. If you start with more of a roundish bubble instead of a tall cylinder, it's a lot easier to spin them out. And we should talk about spinning out or using jags. There's a couple different ways to do rondels. Some people flatten them out with their jacks. Some people spin them. In our shop, for the most part, we spin and let the centrifugal force kind of pull that out. Now, it's harder to get a perfect rondel that way. Everything has to be right to do it that way and get it to really be totally round. It's most likely a little easier to end up with a complete round shape every time using the jacks. Sorry.
Yeah, I like using the jacks just to give it a little more of a guideline and guidance as to where the glass is going to go, especially if I'm a little uneven somewhere. But this also using the jacks and opening it up, also it's less likely to collapse in my experience as opposed to keeping it round with a small opening.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see when I'm spinning, there's a little more glass somewhere.
Right, slightly off center with the mass.
Right.
So any place you have a little extra glass, it's going to get a little bigger. It's going to.
Ooh, look at this slow-mo.
Nice.
Yeah.
The next thing we're going to do, and the last of the what we call the 7 deadlies, is a fluted piece. And here we're going to go through, make a bowl or a cylinder, heat the end of it, start to open it up like you would a rondel. And when it gets hot enough and we're at the right place, we're simply going to let gravity flute the piece, draw the top down, and give us a nice wavy effect. A flute, something that we can do the top on a vase, on a bowl. It comes in very handy to be able to do this in lots of different shapes. Now you're using a block. How come a block instead of the steam pad this time?
The mass is a little too big.
Now you're after it with the steam pad.
Yeah. Now I'm just kind of leveling it out a little bit with that steam pad and getting the shape that I want.
Notice you're picking the one end up off the arm of the bench there.
There are other reasons for doing that. I do that specifically because my pipe is bent and it's a little off center. When I pick it up that way, it allows me to level it correctly.
Get it all centered up.
As opposed to rolling it.
Yeah, bent pipes, everybody wishes their pipes were straight all the time. The fact of the matter is that after they're a couple of months old, they're going to be bent. Just deal with it. You straighten them out as you go along and like that, but very rarely do you get a pipe that's truly completely straight and stay that way very long. Part of that is, too, that we have a lot of different people using the equipment in the studio, and not all of them are quite as careful as they need to be. But even if you're careful, at some point you're going to drop it, or you're going to overheat it, or chill it wrong, or something.
Leave it in the glory hole
a little too long. All of those things happen, and it's not the end of the world. Nice little swing there.
That gloomy day must have been messing with my color perception.
Yep.
It's
You know,
so hot.
it's something that you is really true, and it will mess with you a little bit. When it's gloomy outside, things look hotter than what they are, and when it's nice and bright outside, they look cooler than what they are. And it's an adjustment you kind of need to make as you're working.
See, I just realized how hot it was, and I was trying to keep it down so it didn't stretch any further than what it already had.
It's a nice shape at this point. It's a pretty vase, yeah. You know, I think some of the best shapes come out of not tooling, but kind of the natural movement of the glass when it stretches itself and like that. I think those are always nicer forms than when you pull it or stretch it on purpose.
They are, because they're very fluid.
Yeah, exactly. Now you can see how you got a little bit off center when you went to start to put your jack line in. You just stopped the rotation and got a little off center.
Ah! I thought I had fixed that. Guess not. But that's also kind of the hard part about a longer piece, is you have to kind of, I'm trying to think of the word for it.
Well, it accentuates any problems you have. If you're a quarter inch off, by the time you get 10, 12 inches of glass on the end of it, that quarter inch is an inch or 2 inches. It really makes a difference. Get that punnied up there. A little bit hot, I'd say, but
Yeah.
maybe not. Using the water to create, in essence, a new jack line and cut it off a little bit. There you go. That was good.
Decent break.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that happened.
Got a little thin, thermal shocked when it hit the heat, and lost the top end. Perfect piece to spin out, though.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice little fluted piece. We call that Plan B.
Right. Roll with what you've got.
Plan B is always a good idea. Little eccentric. Not bad. Kind of fun.